Let me ask you a question. Is every finished manuscript that's ever been written sitting on a shelf waiting to be read? No, because not every book has gone on to be published. The truth is that after countless hours of brainstorming, writing, and rewriting, your manuscript might finally be finished, but that's just the first part of the battle. A manuscript is not a book. So now what? What's the next step? The next step is publishing. And in my book, The Profitable Business Author, I go into great detail about publishing and the key to profits that a lot of authors really don't want you to know about. They're kind of happy to keep that secret to themselves. But if you want to find out what it is, click on the link below and get your copy as we dive into the truth about publishing in this video. Once upon a time, there were a handful of companies, traditional publishers, who controlled who was allowed to be published. You had to have an agent, or you had to apply, or you had to send a blind manuscript and hope, pray, say, please, please publish my book. And because they had only so many resources and there were so many people who wanted to write books, they had to pick and choose. But these days it's completely different. It's not a matter of if you'll be published or if your book will be published. It's just a matter of how you're going to be published. Because there's so many ways that you can do it these days, and it's not all up to some other company to decide if your book is worth being published. There's actually 4 ways that you can be published today. Traditional publishing, which is when you have an agent or you send a query letter or you have some relationship with a traditional large publishing house in New York City, and they take your book on and they publish it for you. There's also self-publishing, which you've probably heard of, where you do all the work yourself. You can save a lot of money doing it that way. You have complete control over your book. The big problem with self-publishing is that there's a lot of pitfalls and there's a lot of things that you just don't know that you don't know. And sometimes you can kind of make some decisions that aren't in the best interest of your book. There's also hybrid publishing, which is a little bit a half and half. It's a little bit in between self-publishing and traditional publishing, where they take on some of the risk. They do all of the hard work that is involved in design and actually making the book into a book, but they also share in the profits. So there's traditional, there's hybrid, and then there's also independent publishing. And independent publishing can mean that you're self-publishing under a small press name. So you give yourself, or you create a publishing house or a publishing imprint, which is what it's called. And you create that imprint just to publish your book. Now, maybe you'll go on and publish your friend's book or your mother's book or something later on, and that's okay. You can do that because you've created your own imprint. Sometimes you'll find a small press that already has a few books under its belt and would be happy to publish your book. Indie publishing is really self-publishing, except it's done a little bit differently so that you are able to take full advantage of retail sales and full advantage of all the different ways that you can get your book out into the world. So as you can see, there's lots and lots of ways that you can publish your book. It doesn't have to be this big struggle to get into Random House or Simon & Schuster or some really big kind of anonymous, unfeeling company that you just don't know anybody there and you're afraid you're never going to be published. You can be published and you don't have to do it all by yourself. Now, one thing they don't tell you about publishing is that you're going to pay. You're going to pay one way or another. You're going to pay on the front end or you're going to pay on the back end. What does that mean? That means that either you're going to pay a whole lot of money or maybe a little bit of money, maybe not so much. It just depends on how you're doing it. At the beginning of the process, you're going to pay someone to help you go through the process. This is a hybrid publisher. This is maybe an independent publisher who's helping you out. You're helping them defray the costs of publishing. It is not free to publish, even if you're self-publishing. You have to pay for things like ISBNs and barcodes and cover design and interior layout. The amount you pay is up to you. The amount you pay is up to how professional looking you want your book, but you're going to pay something. And you're going to either pay on the front end where you're having someone help you do the job, or you're going to pay on the back end. That means that maybe you go to a traditional publisher, maybe they're happy to publish your book because they see value in it and they're excited because they know they're going to make money on your product. They're in the business of making money off your book. So if they decide to publish it, that means that they see commercial potential, which is great. But what it means is that they're going to make a profit on the back end and you are going to be the one paying that profit. The way that they do that is by keeping 90% or so, maybe 70% if you sell a whole lot of books. You're going to keep 90% of the sale price. So what does that mean? That means when you get a publishing contract from a traditional publisher, the terms are probably going to be 90%, 10%. You keep 10% of those sales and they keep 90%. So you're still paying by not collecting as much of that revenue as you possibly could. Now, does that mean you shouldn't go with a traditional publisher? Not necessarily. There might be good reasons for you to use them. There might also be good reasons for you to use a hybrid publisher. There's pros and cons to every kind of publishing. But what I want you to understand is, number one, it's not if you'll be published, it's how you'll be published. And number two, you need to make sure that you know exactly what you're getting, where you're paying. Are you paying on the front end or are you paying on the back end? And how are you going to get the return on your investment of time, money, and energy into getting this whole book written and put out into the world? How are you going to regain and actually get a massive return on your investment? The way that you do that has to do with how you write the book and how you inspire and how you educate and how you sell your additional products and services inside that book so that you use it as the true marketing tool that it really is. That book is there to attract clients and customers to your business, to attract speaking engagements, to maybe help you improve the donations to a nonprofit. Whatever the purpose for your book is, you need to make sure that you have devices built into the story, into the structure of the book itself, so people know that they can go to you and they can work with your business and they can help not just defray the costs that you're going to pay on the front end or the back end, but actually give you a real return on your investment. So another thing you need to realize about publishers is that they're not going to market your book for you. Their job is to take a manuscript that's just an electronic Word document and design it and bind it and print it and turn it into a physical book that you can sell to your people. The marketing part is up to you, and it can start as soon as you begin writing your first draft. Talk to your people about your book. Get them excited. When you get your first drafts of your cover design, show them. If you have 5 possibilities for a cover design, ask them to vote. Which one's their favorite? What do they like? What do they not like? Get them involved in the writing process. Talk to them about your struggles. Say, oh, I've got writer's block. I don't know what to do next. Or, I'm not sure if I should include a story here. What are your best stories about, your struggles to succeed in your business? So you can actually ask them for input. You can ask them to become part of the journey of you becoming an author. When you do that, you're engaging them in your book. You're getting them excited about your book. And when they feel like they're part of that process, what do you think is going to happen? When you launch your book, they're going to buy it. Not only are they going to buy it, they're going to buy it for their friends. They're going to tell everyone about it. They're going to go to Amazon and review it for you. They're going to do whatever they can to help you get that book out because they feel like they've been a part of it the whole time. So your marketing starts as soon as you start writing. Don't hold back. Don't hold on to it like it's a big secret because you're afraid that you won't get it done. That's another secret, is when you tell people about it early on, they'll urge you on, they'll be excited for you, and you'll feel like, crap, I really have to write this book because I told everybody I was writing this book. And they'll keep asking you, like, when is your book coming out? So that helps you kind of move forward in a faster way so that you're not getting stuck, or if you are getting stuck, they'll help you get unstuck a little bit faster. So there's a lot of really cool things about the publishing process. There's a lot of struggles that go with the publishing process as well. You want to have a publisher, no matter which one it is, whether it's you and you have you're self-publishing and you have maybe a coach who's helping you, or you have an indie house that's helping you out with different aspects of the project, or you actually have a big contract with a traditional publisher. You want to make sure that you're working with people that you trust and who have your best interest at heart and who can be real partners in making sure that the book is amazing, because that's their job, is to make sure that that book is going to do its absolute best to reach your goals, which hopefully are to bring you clients and customers and change the world. So if you're ready to publish your book, you're ready to do it the right way with a well thought out strategy that will result in that book being read, I have some resources for you. Just click the link below and access my online writers workshop to get your copy of my book, The Profitable Business Author, today.